And just like that, the regular season is over for the Arizona Cardinals and on to the playoffs. Now, obviously, the matchup that we had against the Seattle Seahawks almost kind of seemed like storybook for the Arizona Cardinals. It seems to be the trend that we've been seeing time and time again. We go over up to Seattle, we beat them there, and they come here and they beat us here. So it's not the matchup that we wanted. Obviously, they're not the turnout. We had a chance at the NFC West, and although I am still pissed off, I'm actually pretty upset when it comes down to the Arizona Cardinals not taking care of business. But we are looking into the playoffs as of right now, and it has been set. We are going to be talking about Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals, Monday Night Football. Wild card weekend, guys. Let's get to it. Roll the intro. Alright guys, welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, today what I wanted to talk about is the Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. Our timetable has been set, and we will be playing on Monday Night Football. Now, this is going to be an away game for the Arizona Cardinals. We will be traveling over to SoFi Stadium and playing our first playoff game versus the Los Angeles Rams. Now, like I mentioned a little earlier in the intro, I'm still kind of a little upset how this weekend played out. I was really hoping that this Arizona Cardinal team was going to be able to put their best foot forward and win the division. First time, it would have been the first time since 2015 that we would have won the NFC West, but unfortunately, that's not the way that the cookie crumbled. And if you really think about it, like if you listen to the coach, he kind of has that same monotone voice. It doesn't really seem like it was an urgent play, or at least that's what it seemed like in the press conference. That when a lot of media people were asking, what was going on here, and he actually said that hopefully now we're gonna have a level of urgency going into the playoffs because it's gonna be one and done. Well, no duh. I mean, that's how the playoffs are played, but it's really frustrating as a fan to kind of see the same thing over and over again. Starting 7-0, super hot, and losing amount of games that we did, and especially at home. That's the frustrating part, I think, as a fan for me here, because it almost seemed like we started off hot like usual in the Cliff Kingsbury era, and we're tailing off towards the end of the season. But the number one thing I'm assuming Michael Bidwell and Steve Keim told Cliff Kingsbury to do this year is to make the playoffs. And unfortunately, because he checked that little box in terms of making the playoffs, I think they have a lot of fan base, a lot of people really optimistic, and a lot of excitement because we're trending in the right direction. But to me, I definitely expect a little bit more out of this team that went 7-0. And only won 4 games down the stretch. I definitely honestly expected a lot more from this Arizona Cardinal team. But here we go. Let's talk about the matchup that we have here. Now, this isn't going to be a preview, all that different stuff, because we already know what's in front of us. We already know what's in front of us, the Arizona Cardinals, and what they need to do in order for them to beat Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams ended up losing this weekend as well to the San Francisco 49ers. Well, congratulations to the 49ers, by the way. They played a really tough, gritty game, a division game that they needed to win, and they pulled through. Just unfortunately, the Arizona Cardinals couldn't pull the trigger and do the same thing for our end in front of our fan base, which is definitely very unfortunate. But here we go. This matchup here, to me, it kind of just seems... I don't know. I don't quite know how to feel about playing on Monday night. The biggest reason why is because we definitely had 3 primetime games this year so far, and we didn't show up in any of them. So I'm a little concerned when it comes down to not playing on Sunday. But it also kind of gives me a little of, positivity that we are playing on Monday. We don't know the status of James Conner as of yet. He was hurt, taken out of the game due to a rib injury. I do hope that he will be coming back versus the Rams game, because we definitely need him. Now, I think we're going to be having a lot more players come back than we think. Hopefully, Marco Wilson is going to be coming back, which isn't too great, but with what we had in the secondary versus the Seattle Seahawks, we can definitely use his assistance in our secondary right now. Now, I'm not quite sure what's happening with Alford at this point, Robert Alford, so we're definitely going to be following that story very, very closely. But J.J. Watt seems to be trending in the right direction. I'm hoping we're going to be getting him in the first playoff game. We saw DeAndre Hopkins on crutches this last game versus the Seattle Seahawks, so that doesn't look very promising at all. So I'm assuming Edmonds is a go as well, but if he doesn't, I actually have all the confidence in the world that Eno Benjamin will be able to take those reps that we usually have, him Chase Edmonds take. So I'll be comfortable there as long as we have our, James Conner, which is our bruiser type of running back. Then I think I'll be a lot more comfortable going into this game here. But man, this is going to be a game that's, yeah, we are 11-6 team, but if Cliff Kingsbury wants to shut up all the haters, and if he wants to basically be, turn off all the noise, he needs to win this game. I think point and blank. And as a Cardinal fan right now, I'm absolutely super confused. I don't know what this identity of this Arizona Cardinal offense is right now. There was some shiny moments with AJ Green throughout the season, but man, it's really kind of getting to the point that, man, we really don't have chemistry down. There's really no chemistry down with him and Kyler Murray, and it's obvious that Kyler Murray is getting absolutely frustrated on the sidelines, throwing his helmet down. And I'm not trying to pick at, oh, he's not a leader. That's not where I'm going at. But the frustration level going on this far into the season right now is pretty concerning, being that we've already played 17 games with each other and we're still having these issues. It's definitely a little concerning for me as a fan to kind of see that type of reaction, and not talking to your wide receivers, maybe getting on the same page type of stuff. But yeah, man, let's keep moving on here. I think this game's going to come down to what type of Cardinal team we're going to be seeing here. Are we going to be seeing the 7-0 Cardinals, or are we going to be seeing the Cardinals that, took a downfall towards the end of the season? Are we going to be playing with a sense of urgency? Because truthfully and realistically, yes, we are one of the few teams that are making it in the playoffs. But if we're a one and done team, man, how confident are Cardinal fans going into the season and going into the next season and really feeling like Cliff Kingsbury is the guy? Because we've seen the trend over and over again that he starts off hot and he starts tailing off in the end of the season, and we're seeing it again. So I'm actually very curious to find out what the Cardinals are going to do. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Cliff Kingsbury is going to get fired, and the biggest reason for that is because I've said it in my multiple lives before that the Arizona Cardinal fan base, the Arizona Cardinal organization, we love to hang our hat on small little victories. We just love doing it. And because we're seeing progress, because we're seeing a step in the right direction, I think Cliff Kingsbury's job is safe. And it pains me to say that, because I honestly do think if we go for a head coaching, change with the roster that we have, I think another head coach would be able to bring us in the same position that Cliff Kingsbury has us in. I don't think he's got an offense that has confused multiple different people in the NFL at all. But here we are, right? We're 11 team win in the 2021 season, which I would rather be in this position than sitting at home and not having an opportunity at the Lombardi. But this game really is going to come down to which Arizona Cardinal team are we going to see? 7-0, or are we going to see the second half team? Because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot to unfold if the Arizona Cardinals cannot pull off a win in SoFi. Because the biggest storyline going into the the playoffs, the wild card weekend from a lot of fans is, oh, okay, we lost, no big deal. We're better as an away team than we are at home. Now, that's a pretty big problem. That's a pretty big problem that we cannot seem to win at home. And I think we've lost 5 consecutive games at home. That is a big deal. That's an absolute big deal. Now, I'm glad that we won as many games as we did in the beginning of the season to kind of band-aid the effect of how big that actually is. But like I said, we're not going to really dive into what we should be doing in this Cardinal organization until this game is over. Now, if the Arizona Cardinals move into the second round of the playoffs, then we would be talking a lot, happier. But as of right now, the Arizona Cardinals have a tough matchup against the Los Angeles Rams that lost against one of their division rivals, the San Francisco 49ers, and I don't think we should take them lightly at all. They most likely will be having, 2 running backs. Cam Akers going to be coming back, and Sony Michel has had a really, really good season in the second half once he's been getting a lot more of the snaps. So the Arizona Cardinals have their hands full here, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think the Arizona Cardinals are going to do versus the Los Angeles Rams in the wild card weekend, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know everything in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. In and out.